Hello again. Although not myself a Catholic, I am fascinated by the workings of the faith. I used to worship pretty regularly at one time at a Catholic church, and I find the ritual familiar and comforting. It's very similar, in fact, well, I say very similar, it's identical to High Anglican services. You could switch back and forth between a Catholic service and the very highest type of service at the Church of England, and the two are indistinguishable. Anyway, I digress. The process of making somebody a saint is a marvellous one, and it's not just an historical curiosity. Saints are still being created to this very day. Pope John Paul II is, of course, one man on the accelerated path to beatification and sainthood, and now a Frenchman has been set on the same road. According to Pope Francis, Robert Schuman, former Prime Minister of France and the architect of the European Union, has now been recognised for what the Pope calls his heroic virtues, and may now be officially referred to as the Venerable Robert Schuman. Imagine that, the EU having its very own saint. Schuman, who was born in Luxembourg and is known sometimes as the father of Europe, helped set up the European coal and steel community after the end of the Second World War, which of course mutated first into the common market, then into the EEC, and finally into the European Union that we have today. He was a very devout man and something of a theologian as well as a politician, and by all accounts he lived a very God-fearing life. The process of turning him into a saint is quite an interesting one. The first stage is agreeing that a candidate was a servant of God, which really means just that the person was God-fearing and devout, and, needless to say, also Catholic. Then comes the title Venerable, which the Pope has now announced. At this stage, people now can pray to Robert Schuman for miracles. Yes, you can address a prayer to the Venerable Robert Schuman, founder of the coal and steel community, and ask for his help in curing diseases. The thing is that you need a miracle which cannot be explained by medical science if you want to become a saint and so on. And incredible as it may sound, devout Catholics throughout the world will be praying to the former French Prime Minister to cure them of fatal illnesses or other disabilities. Without this miracle, the next part of the process cannot take place, which is beatification. This would mean that Schuman could be called by the title Blessed. We would refer to him as the Blessed Robert Schuman. Then, just one more miracle, and you may progress to full sainthood, providing, of course, that nothing sleazy or disreputable comes to light about your previous life. The Vatican sends someone snooping round to see if they can uncover any dirt. The person used to be called the Devil's Advocate at one time. Once Robert Schuman becomes a saint, it will provide a huge boost for the European community and bestow upon it, in a sense, the religious approval of the Church. As a saint, all Robert Schuman's actions in life would be presumed to be right and proper, and that, I suppose, would include things like starting the common market. Of course, it would be handy for the EU to have their very own saint, especially in Catholic countries like Ireland, Italy and Spain. It would mean that he automatically had the ear of Our Lady and so on, and could intercede for people on earth who prayed for his help. I'm bound to say that I find this a most intriguing development, and shall be interested to see how quickly a miracle is found to get the ball rolling for the next step in the whole business. Just imagine that, the Blessed Robert Schuman, or even Saint Robert Schuman. It's certainly an exciting prospect.